You copy?
Children. Paul, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Yes, we're going to go here in a second. We had a couple of technical difficulties. We're going to reboot. Hi, I'm DeeDee Garcia Blase, your Tequila radio show Onda. Oh my goodness. This is really bad. It started bad, and now we're going to try it again. This is blooper number 3, Osvaldo. All right, I'm DeeDee Garcia Blase, your Tequila radio show host, and with me today our motorcycle club, Unbroken, Protect the Children, and we're going to be talking with them after we interview Paul Renteria, and he is an actor. Paul, are you on the line? Can you hear me?
Yes, DeeDee, can you hear me?
I can. Let me just read a little bit of your bio to the audience so they understand who I'm talking to. Paul Renteria, at age 7, Paul was first inspired to act, ride motorcycles and horses when he met actor martial artist Bruce Lee. That's right. He is old enough to have met Bruce Lee. He met Bruce Lee working out on a trampoline in the backyard of his neighbor, martial artist Bob Bremer, and his brother Freddie on Elm Street in Alhambra, California. Bob, a welder who liked to wear a fedora, made a steel hand for Halloween, which coincidentally and conceptually appeared in Enter the Dragon, Nightmare on Elm Street, and Edward Scissorhands. Bob's other friends included the late motorcyclist Bill Laidlaw of the Laidlaw Harley-Davidson motorcycle family, who would bring over a different motorcycle every weekend and tell the kids to dream about growing up and exchanging their Stingray bicycles for Harleys. Predominantly a Chicano neighborhood, this Elm Street attracted the 1960s avant-garde crowd of the San Gabriel Valley, which included many future celebrities and athletes. Another neighbor, Ben Rizio, had horses in a field back then and was friends with many cowboys and actors. The networking, camaraderie, and visits by so many well-known people were a surreal experience absorbed by a young Paul. At Emery Park Elementary School in Alhambra, Paul was a student body president and a city football all-star and was usually picked to be in plays and presentations. Later in high school, he rode his horse across the set of the television show The Incredible Hulk, filming a rodeo scene at the Pico Rivera Sports Arena in Pico Rivera, California, and was encouraged by the producers and director to pursue acting utilizing his great horsemanship abilities. He was hired for a few days to help keep the locals safely away from Lou Ferrigno between takes. Meanwhile, his parents persuaded him to return to his studies. Though he didn't know at the time, the business continued to pursue Paul. As a junior college engineering student, he worked for a summer as draftsman, unknowingly for Robert Redford's then brother-in-law, Gary Van Wagenen, for cooperative education college units. I'm going to skip down to some of the movies that Paul has acted in, to include, let me skip down. Well, you know what? Paul, why don't you tell us the movies that you've been in? I've been doing too much talking, and I'd like to hear your voice for a change.
Well, thank you very much. Just so you know, I picked adventure over acting. I've had some big gigs, and I've turned down half the gigs because I had adventures lined up across the country. But ones that people recognize me are from Due Date. I played the border guard, taking lead from Zach Galifianakis and Robert Downey Jr. I'm in the film In Harsh Times, killing Emilio Rivera in the bar. And I'm also in anger management with Jack Nicholson and Adam Sandler in the group therapy session. Those are a few.
Tell us what...
You copy?
I do copy. What projects are you working on right now?
Well, in August, I returned to the stage after 9 years, and I had some people approach me about joining Actors Equity. And they do a lot of Shakespeare, and I've never done Shakespeare, so I'm going to be studying that. And I did a film in August also for Mickey Levy, who wrote Rails and Ties that she sold to Clint Eastwood. So I got some few things coming up, and doing that film, the producers of a boxing show in Vegas called On the Ropes are considering, or writing me into a project that's in development.
What
go on.
No, I was gonna say and.
Oh well, I continue to audition and hopefully get gigs.
What was it about Bruce Lee that was he pretty much the one actor that you were starstruck by, or have there been several in your life as you've gone through acting for several years?
Well, meeting Bruce Lee was like meeting Batman and Captain America and whoever else all rolled into one. And just the simple fact that he knew my neighbor was just incredible. And my neighbor knew a lot of people, but he never wanted to be a star. So I was never really starstruck. But when I decided to become an actor, I knew I was going to study and sit down across the table from Robert De Niro or Jack Nicholson. So I did get to work with Jack in anger management.
Sure, you got questions.
What's it like working with the future star of the Mayan Club, Emilio Rivera? What's he like in real life? Is he pretty much the same?
He is, there's only so many people I can count on my hand as true friends and trustworthy. And this man, I have known him, started off doing theater and a play. And he's sober. I never seen him take a drink, a puff, a sip, a shot, nada.
Wow.
And he's really committed, and the universe is treating him well, making him a star. He deserves to be a star. He's a real nice guy. And he's got so many great stories amongst us that he makes me feel like a choir boy. So he's the real deal that has turned his life around.
Well, I was asking some of these guys that are sitting here in the studio with me if they knew who Emilio Rivera was, and they said absolutely. So, do you guys have any questions for Paul? They're your fellow biker friends, Paul. They've been biking for a long time, I'm sure.
When's the new show coming out?
Emilio and I do ride bikes in real life.
Hey, they do have a question. Do you know when the new show's coming out? Because I think it keeps getting pushed back.
Well, basically, all I know is that they're waiting for everybody to finish their vacations and come back from the river. When everyone's glued to their TV in the fall, that's when they normally launch a new show.
Good, so September.
Good, so then...
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, September. What other projects have you worked on as an actor? I know you're an actor, but I think you've worked on some movie scripts as well, haven't you?
I've worked on several things, but some of my biggest things that are kind of passed by the years here is that I was filmed by Miller Lite and Harley Davidson, and they're across the street from each other in Milwaukee. Just for your listeners here and for any kids dreaming, if you think you're right for something or you got something on your mind, before the internet, we wrote letters. And I wrote to all the chief executive officers of all the American beer companies. And I told them that Sternals are the biggest group of beer drinkers that I know of, and we're invisible in their advertising. So they called my bluff, and Miller Lite put me in 8 Miller Lite Man Laws national commercials. with Jerome Bettis and Burt Reynolds, Triple H, Ty Murray. Anyways, so that was a dream. And then Harley Davidson, I wrote to them also, and they filmed me riding from LA to Chihuahua, follow the paths of my ancestors and Pancho Villa. And I wrote to Chevy, and they filmed me as well.
That's right. You went on a, just so you guys know, since you guys are bikers, he went on a 10-day motorcycle ride through some of the trails that Pancho Villa rode when Pancho Villa was over here being a rebel. And he rode those similar trails, and he said that was a memorable biker experience. And
that'd be awesome.
Yeah.
It's a good way to have a vacation.
That's right.
10 days away. I'm up for it.
Yeah, these bikers want to go with you on the next Pancho Villa ride.
You know, it was basically my girlfriend at the time and the film crew following us. But that was a really great experience.
What else can you tell us that you haven't told any other interviewer?
Well, I am starting to write my stories. I want to help future generations navigate the treacherous waters that they're up against. Times are different. Things have changed from when I started acting, and you know, we got social media. So I've got my memoirs. You know, I took a playwriting class, and I realized I wasn't a playwright, and I took a screenwriting class, and I'm not a screenplay writer. But I met Ana Castillo through a friend, and coincidentally, her books have been banned from Arizona. But you go to anacastillo.com, and she opened up my brain to talk about memoir. In other words, just write about my experiences. So I'm writing several short stories, and hopefully some screenplays can be mined from those stories.
Now, when you...
So I never told anyone that.
Okay. Thank you. Do you participate in a toy drive every year with the bikers there in California? Because I did see a photo of you dressed as Santa. And
yes. A friend of mine, Martin Resendez, has a charity, Rolling Deep for Charities. And his mother-in-law was an orphan. And one time she didn't get anything for Christmas, so he made it a point to start this charity. And we ride from LA to Rosarito Beach. We're going to be doing that on July 13th. And we ride down to Baja. And it's a great thing to see bikers that aren't afraid to go to Baja. And then we go to an orphanage. And then sometimes, he also does a toy drive to Dodger Stadium in December. And we have done blanket drives for the homeless in LA as well. So it's, not all bikers were born as saints, but we try to find some redemption.
I like that.
That's a really good statement.
That's a good statement. How many bikes do you own, Paul? 30, right?
I have 3 Harleys.
He has a
and
friend.
one time I wanted 10, but I could only ride one at a time.
So he has a backup for the backup.
You have a backup for the backup.
Yeah, exactly. DeeDee, as I often tell people, I've been the luckiest bozo on the bus to get acting credits. And I don't even want to be famous or a star. I just want to be rich to fill up my 3 Harleys.
Yeah, he's living literally for Harley Davidsons. I met him in person in Los Angeles. And how many do you want? What are you working towards?
Oh no, I got 3 now. That's enough.
You're done? That's enough?
Yeah. I have a buddy with 30. He doesn't have enough time to write them all.
Okay. All right. What was it like meeting the Hulk, the original Hulk with Lou Ferrigno?
Well, I was riding my horse through a flood control channel that we call Marrano Beach. That means Pig's Beach. And anyways, it used to be an oasis. Now it's because of the drought and fires, it looks terrible. But I was riding my horse, and I see this big green guy walking through the bushes, and I see these movie lights, and I ride up, and my mare was in heat, so that's how I got to go on the set. He was a cool dude, and so then all the Mexican families started showing up, eating craft services, which they didn't mind. But then everybody wanted to touch Lou and take pictures, so they asked me to keep people away from him.
Oh, wow.
But that was a great experience. I was 19 years old.
Right on. Well, how can my audience get a hold of you, reach out to you, possibly hire you, collaborate with you? How can they do that?
Well, first of all, they could Google me or go to Facebook or go to imdb.com. I have, Paul Renteria. I'm on there. And they can ask questions or email me, paul@paulrenteria.com.
Do you have any final words? Is there something on your mind that you want to share? What's in your soul with my audience, with these scary-looking bikers that are sitting with me? I have one, by the way, Paul. He's wearing like this really cool black bandana with shades. He's pretty intimidating because he's got tattoos on his arm. He's scaring me right now.
Uh-oh.
Should bring his name tag.
Well,
a name like mine, you should be scared.
What I ask every biker is know what your tire pressure is.
42.
42.
Okay, that's good.
40.
A lot of people, when they go, I don't know. When's the last time we checked it 2 years ago?
If they don't know, they shouldn't be on the road.
That's a fact.
They said that if they don't know, they shouldn't be on the road. So we have two 42s and a 40.
Okay, well that's good. It's better than I don't know.
Should ask them how many tires they have on their motorcycle.
I had a blowout at 80 miles an hour and I got to walk away.
Hey, congrats.
Yeah.
So anyways, I tell bikers and boaters, wherever you look, it's kind of a metaphor for life. Wherever you look is where you're going to go. Like a magnet. So, keep your eyes on the road, and if you see a big rock or pothole, don't look at it. Look to the side of it, and your bike will follow your eyes.
Now, you played in a movie, I think it was Due Date with Robert Downey Jr., and you looked pretty intimidating in there. Did you actually scare Robert Downey Jr. in that scene when you're the Border Patrol?
Well, you know what? Flipping that around, people asked me if I was nervous or afraid, and I said no, they were nervous and afraid. Yeah, they're not used to this big, good-looking Mexican dude staring them in the eyes, not knowing whether I was going to hug them or slug them, or park their car.
I'm gonna go home and watch
So it was a great experience.
Well, I just heard Sluggo say that he was going to go home and watch the movie, so...
Excellent.
Thank you so much, Paul, for being a guest on our show. We're going to be talking about the Unbroken Motorcycle Club nonprofit after the break. Thank you again for being my guest.
Hey, I just want to say one thing to the bike club. That's a great thing that you're doing. I had a girlfriend who was a victim of incest, child sexual abuse. She committed suicide, and she told me I should be an actor to bring hope to other people's lives. So that's part of my mission as well.
Wow, how old were you when that happened?
I beg your pardon?
How old were you when that happened? That's so sad.
I was 30 and she turned 40. But she was the first person in my life who said, you need to be an actor, an entertainer. And I had a ranch, and she rode horses with me. It was a great dream. And when she died, my dog took off the next day, and her horse died like a year later. But she got to work in Santa Fe, New Mexico, and she got to meet Robert Redford in the cast of the Milagro Beanfield War. And if you've ever seen that movie, it's based on a real beanfield in Truchas, New Mexico. So I took some of her ashes to that same beanfield.
Is the name of that movie Milagro?
Yes, the Milagro Beanfield War. That's her and my favorite movie.
Oh, okay. Okay. Well, thank you again, and I hope to see you again in Los Angeles, and I wish you the best, and thank you again, Paul. We're going to go on break.
Thank you. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Hola amigos, soy Pedro Cervantes, director de marketing de Warnock & McKinley. Recuerda, si tú o uno de tus familiares o conocidos ha tenido un accidente automovilístico, lesionado en el trabajo, lesionado personal o quizás una fatalidad, guarda mi número, seguro le podemos ayudar.
Recuerda, si no ganamos, tú no pagas. Puedes llamar al teléfono 623-680-9354.
Hi, I'm DeeDee Garcia Blase, your Tequila radio show host, and with me today is Unbroken, Protect the Children, and I have the motorcycle club with me, 4 members at least of the motorcycle club. And let's see, I'm going to start with mentioning my 3 guests. The 4th one didn't want to be behind the camera here, but I'm going to go ahead and give her props on the air. But we have Sluggo.
Hi.
And Sluggo, what's your title?
I am the outreach coordinator for Protect the Children Inc. and Unbroken MC.
Okay, outreach coordinator. And then we have Pooh Bear. He's very intimidating because of all the tattoos. He scares me, Osvaldo.
I'm sorry.
Just kidding. Pooh Bear, what's your role with the MC?
I'm the president of Unbroken MC.
Okay. And I actually met Pooh Bear at the booth at the Arizona Bike Week just last week. So that's how I became familiar with this wonderful motorcycle.
See, I didn't scare you too bad.
No, you didn't. You didn't. I was just joking. I'm embellishing.
It was the
stories.
bubbles. The bubbles got you.
I'm embellishing. So, and then we have Tech. Tech is, what's your role?
I am the vice president, and actually kind of head up some of our tech stuff. So I wasn't responsible for the tech issues earlier, though.
But you were wanting to help, though, right? You wanted to get up and
A little bit.
You
Yeah.
can see him getting antsy in his seat over there. He's like, I can fix this.
I'm actually a little jealous of his jewelry here, and I want one. Where did you get it? So I can. It's like a bunch of lions. It's really cool.
Discount biker jewelry.
Yep, actually, your Discount Biker Supply, our friend Rhino, has
Really?
these. Yeah, absolutely.
Nice. And then we have Rogue, and she doesn't want to be on the air, but I was glad to see a woman biker here. She just didn't want to kind of be behind the scenes. I don't know why, but thank you for coming. Appreciate that. Can you tell us about who's going to be doing most of the explaining of the club?
Whoever. What do you got? What kind of questions
All right.
you got for us?
Well, basically, why did it begin? How did you start? Was it something that you've experienced and you were just felt passionate about? I mean, what caused you guys to form?
I think every member came to it for a different reason. We were all in another organization before that worked with abused children, and we just saw things we wanted to do more or change, or things we thought about that had to be done differently. And you kind of learn from, it's just like when you have an employer and you work for an employer and then you go to start your own business, you take all the good, the bad, figure it out and try to change it. And that's what we did. I think every member in our club and organization comes here for a different reason. Myself, I was abused, not by family, but I was kidnapped. Some other members might have had some other things in their childhood.
Yeah.
So that's what gravitates us. It's a passion. Every member in our club has it in their blood and in their heart to help kids.
Wow, wow.
I think we just found an outlet for it, really.
Good. And do you help just the people that live in Arizona currently?
Right now we're just in Arizona, so we only help abused children and their families in Arizona.
Okay. And then just kind of a side note, one of the reasons why I gravitated over to the booth, the biker booth, was I saw a black t-shirt that said, it had a noose, you know, hang the pedophiles or something like that.
We have our new shirt out that says "Save a Child, Hang a Pedophile." And we took the blue ribbon, which is the child abuse awareness ribbon, and turned it into a noose.
Yeah, and one of you guys saw me laughing, one of them, and I was just like, yeah, all right.
You
Yeah.
pull up our Facebook page, you can see an image of it.
Okay, and your Facebook page is Unbroken?
Facebook.com/UnbrokenMC.
Okay, okay, /Unbroken MC. Okay, got it.
That's a good statement. I like that shirt.
Me too.
It's subtle.
I like it. I like it. How can people help your 501c organization? How can they contribute if they feel passionate and led to help other children?
They can go onto our website, Protect the Children Inc.
Okay.
And on there's a section where you can look at what we need, things we utilize, things we need donations for. You can go on there, you can exchange for donations. We have goods on there like bracelets or the t-shirts, or you can just donate monthly. And all that money goes directly to the kids. All our money goes straight to helping the children and the families. So therapy, counseling, school supplies, hygiene products, clothes.
Okay. Part of why I wanted you guys to come to the studio was I'm familiar with a young lady who was molested by an older man. I'm not going to name any names, just keep it private, confidential, but I am aware of a 17-year-old, and I think she just recently turned 18 this month, a few days ago. And she was molested by a man. I only know his first name, and I feel like the parents are just kind of afraid to get sticky with law enforcement. But I mean, what advice do you have for victims to sort of empower them, to embolden them to seek help from your organization? Because I mean, if I was that person, I think going to a motorcycle club, I would feel comfortable with that, because I mean, you guys are scary looking, and so that's intimidating, and that's a deterrent, you know, in and of itself. And
Kids like motorcycles.
Too.
That's the big thing, is kids like motorcycles. That helps us break the ice, create a bond. So the motorcycles are the biggest thing. But if somebody needs help, they just need to reach out to somebody they trust. Somebody that they trust, or look us up online, get a hold of us. I mean, there's several different ways. I mean, law enforcement, state, government, agencies, there's a lot of red tape and a lot of things in that help people, or hold people from getting the help they need. We're pretty much like an agency for the people, by the people. You can come to us and we'll help guide you in whatever direction we can to get you on a path of healing. So.
And we may not be able to handle every situation, but we have other resources and people we can contact that might be able to help with us. You know, like you were saying, that she turned 18 and stuff. There might be a better organization we can refer her to too. You know, there's a couple of programs we work with that orientate towards that more. You know what I mean? Do you mind if I tell you what we do?
Yeah, please do.
So,
You're kind of soft-spoken, so
yeah,
do
well,
that.
what we do is we work with abused children and their families, okay? The healing process for when a child's been abused, when a child's been molested, the healing process can't start till they feel safe. We help them feel safe, okay? You can't just be safe, you have to feel safe. Once you move past that, where you can start to function again, it's like it with a lot of things in life, you know, even as adults, we get into situations where there's pressure on us, we can't function. Well, children, I mean, they just don't know what to do. And so once we create that level where they feel safe, they can start the healing process. The other issue that comes up, though, is we have to look at their environment. What's going on with the family? You know, are the parents able to function properly? You know, if a child's been molested, all the family resources go to deal with that one issue. Other things become secondary. A good example is jobs, right? You know, you may not be able to go to work because you're focused on this child that's been abused. So you have to look at family structure. You have to look at, you know, the parents. Sometimes it's as simple as just having somebody to talk to, and the parents can, you know, get back on track and figure. Sometimes they need real help. They need professional help, you know, therapy and stuff. That's where Protect the Children comes in. They provide the money and the financing to get them that therapy. You know, whether it's equestrian therapy, we use horse therapy. I mean, Protect the Children, Unbroken MC specifically uses motorcycle therapy. What we found is when you help the parents heal, when you help the family heal, when you look at the situation with the siblings, you take all this stuff in consideration, the family starts to heal together, the kids see the parents heal, they can heal. Everything happens as a family unit. You can't, I gotta watch my language, I cuss a lot, so.
It's okay.
You can't take a child, give them all these resources, get them all feeling good about life and everything, and send them into a effed up situation. You just can't do it. They will not succeed. The entire reason we felt that create this group is because we saw other organizations doing one thing. They focus on a child. They might focus on rape. They might focus on the family structure. They might focus on homelessness. But each of these individual things gets screwed up again if something else is screwed up. The entire family has to heal. Otherwise, the individual can't heal with them. You know, all of us here are big on family. You know, our families come first in our lives. We protect our kids. We protect our spouses. We just believe in family. And by helping, like I said, by helping the whole family heal at once, that enables them to move on.
Have you ever been in a situation where possibly, you know how Paul Renteria, we had him on the phone, and he had a girlfriend that committed suicide because she was abused sexually, incest. So, within the family, have you ever been confronted with a situation where,
in my personal life,
with this organization, and how does your organization overcome this? When the problem is within the family, as in,
We deal with it every day, all day. That's what we do. That's in almost every other case that we deal with. It's family or, a friend of the family, and it's everywhere. You'd be surprised at how rampant it is. It's everywhere. It doesn't matter how much you make, how little you make, or who you are, what color you are. It don't matter any of that. Those kids are getting offended on left and right. So.
I hear a lot about the friend of the family or the uncle, but it's rare to hear when it's in the family, the core.
It's more common than you think, contact.
Oh. Yeah, it's very, very common, and actually that's one of the things that we're able to do is kind of offset that balance. So sometimes, if the kid, needs to go to court to tell their story, or maybe a case that they're wrapped up in, we're just there for the kid. We don't have any kind of legal expertise or anything. We're just there to make sure that kid feels safe. And that, if they don't want to have to look at the perp, they don't want to have them look at them and staring at them, we form a wall. But more importantly, and to your point, is that, it could be a family member, and oftentimes it is, and then that family is divided. So now that member thinks, they're pleading most times that they're not guilty. And they have a good portion of the family believing that, and then they're pointing fingers at the child, saying, it's their fault, and kids need no help in trying to take blame for things. So in a lot of instances, they may be there, and there could only be 4 or 5 family members on the side with the kid, and then the perp may have 10, 12, 15, 20. So that's another reason when we show up, we all set that balance.
Okay.
We never want that other side to have more so that kid feels powerless, right? So we're there, most importantly, to make them realize their own internal strength and power. But we're their sidekicks, right? They're the main warrior. That's why we refer to them as warriors, and we're there to help them. And we're in the shadows, and everything is about them and empowering them to heal, or to at least go down that road towards healing. Are they ever healed? Probably not. But yet, we can help them at least develop skills, and also other things that can help them adjust and move on in their life.
Now, I was talking to Sluggo last week, and that was one of the terms that sort of, shot out at me, was that your organization refers to, quote unquote, those who have been sexually abused as warriors, and the motorcycle club, you refer to yourselves as sidekicks. And can you elaborate on why you chose those terms?
Well, yeah, and a lot of times you'll hear, as we're talking now about families, and it happened within a family. They come from a broken family, or they're broken, or they're damaged, and that's why the Unbroken MC is unbroken, and that's where that comes from. And really, it's more homage to the warriors themselves, and that our family is your family. So altogether, we're family and we're unbroken. But really, that stems from the warriors themselves. And we call them warriors because, you know, it's a huge fight, not only just, you know, court or whatever the case may entail, but just even that road to recovery. It's kind of like a fight. It's like a war, right? And so they're the ones that's in the trenches. I mean, we can be there by their side, but at the end of the day, they have to fight that fight, right? And so we're there to offer our assistance, but yet it's not about us. It's all about them towards that road to recovery, and that's kind of another reason why we've kind of adapted the term sidekick, because we're there to help their mission, to help their journey, and allow it to be about them. It's another reason why our colors are black on black, right? We're in the shadows. We will go into the shadows to help shine light for children. It's part of our mission. But yet also the blacked out, it's not about us. It really isn't. It's all about the children. It's not even about the patches. It's those things are, you know, there's reasons that they are there, and really more to the security of our warriors than anything else, and helping to identify. But yet, once again, it's not about us, and that's kind of, you know, sidekick. Everything's blacked out. We're in the shadows. Even this is, you know, just because of awareness, but really, you know, it's about, you know, if people walk away from this, be more informed about the abuse that's out there, and that at least that there are resources, and hopefully if there's someone out there that needs help from us or someone we may know or resources we have, hopefully they won't hesitate to reach out.
And on that note, I want to, for those in my audience that are listening, and if you know of any victims out there, on this Unbroken Protect the Children pamphlet, there's a phone number, and you can call this number, 1-844-WE-4-KIDS, or 1-844-934-5437, or you can shoot the MC, the Motorcycle Club, a message on Facebook at facebook.com/Unbroken MC, or you can go to their actual website, unbrokenmc.com. Who wants to read some of the signs of child abuse in this group?
I'm not a very good reader.
Neither am I. You saw me like doing 3 takes.
Well, the signs of a child abuse, all right, we got them right on the back of our trifold here. Regressive behavior. If kids are basically moving backwards in their behavior or starting to degress in their behavior. Cutting or self-harm. Self-destructive or aggressive. Basically starting to lash out at people. If they're anger, shame, guilt, or fear, all of a sudden, nightmares, scared of the dark, bedwetting, or thumb sucking, usually starts out of the blue. Bruises or marks on their back, arms, legs, or bottom of their feet, or generally even just a bad mood, quiet, excessive crying, withdrawal, or poor grades. Anything that changes their behavior all of a sudden that you notice that isn't their normal behavior, that's pretty much a sign something's happening. You know, and we got abuse, but we've also got bullying, and they're the same thing. They're abusing a child. It might just be a child abusing a child rather than an adult. But you've got bullying and abuse. They both go side by side, and any of those signs, it could lead to something pretty horrific. And like you said, and your guest spoke about, you know, his girlfriend committing suicide. A lot of times these kids, when they feel like they have nobody to turn to, that's their only resort, is to turn to that when nobody listens to them, or, you know, therapists aren't getting where they want to, you know, or law enforcement isn't doing what they want to. When they feel like they have nothing else that they can latch onto, fortunately that's what they do, and it happens way too often.
Now, he was mentioning how you guys provide sort of that, you know, there's strength in numbers in the courtroom. Do the kids say that they really appreciate your strength in numbers when you show up to court on their behalf? Form a wall?
They hug us every time we leave court. You know, what I've seen is that they go from being sometimes petrified to even walk into court. You know, we roll in, we all roll in together. We do a security around them. You know, we form a circle. And, you know, there's those moments, because I'm an adult. When I go to court, you know, I don't do court well. But, you know, you get those panic moments with the kids and the warriors, and they get over it. That's the thing. You know, you're always going to have that little bit of panic in every situation when you go into court. The important part is they actually get over it, and I believe it's because we're there. You know, we have people that they can run to, they can talk to us, they can say, "Hey, I'm scared." You know, if you ever go into court by yourself, it's a pretty intimidating thing. If you're a 14-year-old girl that's been through some pretty traumatic stuff, I can imagine it's pretty horrible being in that courtroom, basically with, you know, you might have a parent or a guardian next to you, but that's it. You know, court's a very cold process. And having the group there, having the club there, having the sidekicks, they warm up to us. They feel, from what I've seen, they feel safer. You know, and you can't just be safe. You have to feel safe.
It's not even like they'll say anything. It's just you'll go to court and everybody's nervous when you're going to court. And you go through court and there's a lot of emotions going through court. And then when you're about to leave court, that kid stands straight and tall and head held high and walks right through the group that they don't want to see, but they'll walk right through that group. And then next thing you know, you're going out in the parking lot to go get ice cream.
Oh, wow.
That's better than them saying that we did anything. Is just knowing they made it through it, they got a smile on their face, and are ready for tomorrow.
Yeah, and when they walk past a perp and they have pride, and you can see it in them, you know, that's what impresses me.
I like when they have attitude.
Good.
Because that shows strength.
Yeah.
You know, you don't want to show them weakness. I like when you have attitude.
Yeah, right.
It shows strength, I think.
Yeah,
So
I agree. So when they get on the bike for the motorcycle therapy, how does that work? Do you guys like pick them up on a Saturday, or do you just kind of work with their schedule for the motorcycle therapy?
we'll arrange it, but usually the whole chapter goes out there. And yeah, we all go out there, and it's a big event. We take them on the bikes, and we'll have music blasting, have the kids on the back of the bikes. We'll go around the neighborhood. We'll go get ice cream.
Nice.
We'll do all kinds of things, you know.
Wow.
Yeah.
Play the heavy music like Frozen.
Yeah, I was going to say. Yeah, not the music you're
You
thinking
know
of.
it, yeah. Let it go. You gotta let it go. Hey, we'll take girls on our bikes and we'll be blaring "Let It Go" around the block, and the neighbors come out cheering for the kids. And I mean, that kid, you know, 5 minutes ago might have been crying in the house or reliving some horrible memories. And then you get them on the back of the bike and they're singing, their smiles ear to ear, and they're having a blast. They forgot about what happened to them.
And do you know the lyrics to "Let It Go" by now?
I'm starting to get them. And how to build a snowman. I'm getting pretty good with how to build a snowman.
I think you do know the lyrics.
Yeah, I do, but I ain't gonna do nothing.
yeah.
You're recording this, right?
Come on, Pooh Bear. Come on.
But it's those kinds of things that get kids. We had a kid that was having a panic attack at our Christmas party. We have all the kids we work with and all the families. We have a big Christmas party just for them. And one of the little girls had a panic attack. So I just asked her if she'd like to come out and sit on a motorcycle. And me, her, and Mom went outside. She sat on a motorcycle. We turned on Frozen. Next thing you know, she's jumping around playing, and she forgot that she was having a bad day and having a panic attack. So little things like that.
I need a motorcycle for my panic attacks.
You do. That's why we have them. That's why he had 3.
Yeah, right? He gets it.
Okay. Well, I almost. Let me just recap on the 501c nonprofit, the Unbroken MC Protect the Children. Again, the toll-free hotline is 1-844-WE4KIDS, and or you can visit them at www.unbrokenmc.com. And again, if you know some of the signs of child abuse, such as regressive behavior, cutting, or self-harm, self-destructive or aggressive behavior, bruises or marks on the back, arms, legs, or the bottom of the feet, you might want to call this number, and at least they can get you to the right place. And what they do, and this isn't just limited to this, they provide 24/7 security as needed. They escort the child / the family to and from court, and that can be intimidating because I've seen some of these guys with tattoos and these skull rings, such as Pooh Bear. Those are pretty cool skull rings too, by the way.
I got a couple. Yeah. See, you got one.
I got one.
And you got a scorpion.
I do. They also make their affiliation with the child family known to the public and within their community. And what they do, their organization, and again, if you're wealthy, if you have, you don't even have to be wealthy. If you have a few dollars to spare, please contribute to this nonprofit because it helps pay for therapy, traditional and non-traditional, and it helps out with school supplies and other necessities. But I mean, how cool is it to empower a child who has been abused to ride on the back of a motorcycle club? I mean, motorcycles are fun, I know. So, do you have any final words, Pooh Bear, Sluggo, Tech, Rogue?
May I?
Absolutely.
One thing that I want to bring up is that Protect the Children, Inc., all the money that's raised or donated goes straight to therapy, awareness, and to the children and families. None of us draw any money from it. We don't, we pay our own fuel, we buy our own tires, we do our own time. All that money that gets raised through our shirt sales on our online store, all that stuff goes to helping families. Some of it, like I said, we do awareness. You saw us at the booth. The other thing I want to mention, if you want to help kids and you want to help families, talk to us. We're always looking for help. This is not something that is for the weak of heart. It's expensive. We spend a lot of our personal money at doing this. But I'll tell you right now, you see a child start to heal for the first time, it's addictive. You just will never stop. I do this because I've seen the success. And, you see these terrified kids, terrified families. And 6 months later, you see these completely different people enjoying life, becoming real people again, functioning, going to parks. Come out and help us. You'll be surprised at what you see.
Okay. Well, that'll be it. Again, the number is 1-844-WE4KIDS. And I want to thank my guests, Rogue, Tech, Pooh Bear, and Sluggo. And I also want to thank my guest that was on the phone, Paul Renteria. Paul, if you're listening to this recording, please tell Emilio Rivera that we are all looking forward to the Mayan Club show. Thank you for listening.